Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for another Drops episode. And as usual guys, this is the episode where I tell you guys which players you might have to make the difficult decision of cutting this week because they're just not cutting it for you on the ice. Before we jump into it guys, drop a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and consider checking my Patreon if you do want to take your support to the next level. Let's jump into it now guys. Let's start with some forwards that you can consider dropping. And the first guy on this list is Blake Coleman of the Calgary Flames. Now Blake Coleman is skating on the third line with Backlund and Mangiapane and is 80% rostered. If you told me at the beginning of the season that Blake Coleman was going to get to 80% rostered, I would have thought you were crazy. But here we are, and there he is. He's shown signs of slowing down. As great as he has been this year, he's shown some signs of slowing down, and obviously that production that we saw from him was unsustainable. If you can trade him for somebody, I would right now, because he's slowly becoming a drop. You don't have to drop him right this second, but he's getting there. Ryan O'Reilly is the next guy I have on this list, and he's by no means is a must drop or anything like that, because he is getting top power play and top line time with Philip Forsberg. It's a good deployment. He just doesn't need to be 69% rostered. I think that's a little bit high, and while he's on a cold streak like this and being a natural center, his value is not that high and might be something better on the waiver wire if you are in a shallower league. If you're in a super deep league, obviously you're holding on to Ryan O'Reilly. Don't be stupid. Arturi Lehkonen of the Colorado Avalanche is 40% rostered and is on the third line and not on the top power play in Colorado right now. His value is really bad right now, and unless he gets onto that top power play, I'm not adding Lehkonen, I'm dropping Lehkonen. Rickard Rakell playing on the third line in Pittsburgh, frankly, pretty much has no value right now. Logan O'Connor is playing on that second line in Colorado, which was really hot going into the All-Star break, but has slowed down tremendously. He's a drop now. Jumping into defensemen, Jacob Chychrun is still kind of a drop if you're in a shallower league. There's probably some better defensemen out there that are doing more than nothing that Chychrun is doing. If you're in a deep league, you're holding on to Chychrun though. Luke Hughes, again, if you're in a deep league, you're holding on to him, but in my leagues, pretty much all of them, he's like ranked like 300 and something best player. And while he does put up points pretty frequently, his peripherals are literally non-existent. So his value is really not that high, and he definitely doesn't need to be owned in 69% of leagues. Dougie Hamilton is owned in 68% of leagues and probably won't play for the rest of the year. If you're struggling with injuries and you need to drop somebody, Hamilton is the obvious choice because he may not play again for the rest of the year. Adam Larson is 40% rostered still, and he's done absolutely nothing. His peripherals have not been that good, and the points have really dried up. Definitely an easy drop there. And Tyson Barrie, how on earth is he still 37% rostered? He like gets benched almost every single game. Why are 37% of you still hanging on to this plug? I don't understand at all. And you definitely need to drop him now, like yesterday. Jumping into goalies, and the first guy on this list is Carter Hart. Normally I don't like to repeat players from last week, but I mean, I don't know what 36% of you guys are still doing hanging on to Carter Hart. He's probably not going to play in the NHL again this season. Martin Jones of the Toronto Maple Leafs is the backup now in Toronto. Samsonov is playing really well again, so Jones is droppable. Devin Levi is 32% rostered and is in the AHL. Get rid of him. Anthony Solars is a backup goalie for Florida. Gets mainly just the back-to-back games and usually about a game a week, but that's not enough to hold Solars on your team. And finally, Philip Grubauer. Now, he's not a must-drop if you're in an insanely deep league. You can hope and pray that Decord chokes and Grubauer starts getting starts again, but Decord has been great, so I'm not holding my breath. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks again, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.